Hey everybody, welcome back for another video, and I'm going to start working on the greenhouse. I've been wanting a greenhouse for quite a long time, and what I've got back here is a cattle panel that we used last year to trellis all of the tomatoes up. We're going to repurpose these this year, at least to get the greenhouse started, and we will kind of take you along for that whole build. So I'm kind of excited. Probably going to do it in segments in different parts, but first step is to unwire all the cattle panels and get them set over in the location that we're going to build, and I'll take you over there here in just a second. Okay, so right over there is where all those cattle panels are, and the greenhouse is going to go in between this row, which is basically was the start of a compost pile, primarily made of wood chips, and the asparagus bed. Now the distance between the asparagus bed and the compost pile is 12 feet, and then it's approximately 25-30 feet long. I haven't measured the length, but greenhouse is going to be 12 foot wide, 25 feet long, and it'll be sitting right here. I'll show you how we're going to get the height out of those cattle panels. Alright, I'm going to draw in the snow. So typically most cattle panel greenhouses are shaped like this. You get about 8 foot across and 8 foot high, roughly. The wider you go, the shorter it is. If you make it I think it's more like 8 foot wide, 7 feet tall, something like that. But if you make it more of an arc, like so, you can get 12 foot across and about 4 foot high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 4 foot and 4 foot ish. It might be 4 foot here and 3 foot here, but that will give me 4 foot here, 4 foot there. I'll have 8 foot in the center, but I'm thinking actually I'm going to go 3 foot in the front and 4 foot in the back. That way I can put barrels in the back, and then I'll have shelves in the front. So that's kind of the idea that I'm going for, rather than this. Alright, so here's what we're going to use for the greenhouse. I have a ton of 4x4s and things recovered from an old fence, as well as recovered storm door from a door that we replaced on the house last year. We also have some barrels used for making compost tea with drains at the bottom, so those will be incorporated into the greenhouse. As well, we have a bunch of reclaimed pipe of different sizes and materials, which will be used in the rocket mass heater that will be going in the greenhouse. Okay, so we took the what we wanted to start with, which was this post right here, and set up the chalk line and a string level, and went all the way down, snapped a line there, and we did the same thing here, snapped a line, and then we double checked it at the end over there, and we're within a ½ an inch, so that's close enough for government work. So now what we're going to do is going to take the speed square, run around, mark this, each one, and cut them all off at our mark. Okay, so went around and got all the boards cut off. I think left off when we had the chalk lines on. We went around, double checked everything, and then we took each individual one off, marked it with a square, and cut it. Sorry about the wind noise. And then our next step from there was to put on this board here. This is a 5/4 board. I had from a previous project, a deck project, some extra 8-footers left over, so that's what we're using. And we left these stuck up just a little bit here. We used a piece of 1x4 furring strip, which actually worked out to be about 3/4 of an inch. And then we had to find some happy mediums here a little bit, we leveled it off as we went. And then we married this together with a sister here and just put a thing behind it. And then we got the cattle panel put on. And so the cattle panel is put on here, and we had to run a piece of wire just to kind of hold it, because our cattle panel was a little cattywampus from shipping. We didn't ship them flat, we had to bend them to bring them here. So if you're going to pick these cattle panels up, I highly recommend that you haul them as flat as you possibly can. And then the other thing we did, just to tie the ends together, so we were afraid that the cattle panel would push out, we went ahead and installed a couple 2x4s spanning the width and screwed them together here just to pin these edges together. All right, and then the other thing is we made sure that our ribs here, the wires, were on the outside going down, because we wanted water to be able to flow down and not get hung up. If we'd had it the other way, these would act as little shelves or ridges that snow and ice and everything else can get hung up on. So we did it here, so we were thinking that there would be a better flow of ice and water and snow off of there. So what we'll do, let me see here, sun might be in the way for a good shot of that, but there it is. We'll continue on. We still have to cut these here and add the rails, keep checking our level all the way across, and we'll come back when we get a little further along. Everybody, back for an update on the greenhouse. As you can see in the background, we got a few more cattle panels up. Got our sideboards done here, and what we're doing, you can see right down there, it's pretty straight till you get to the other end. We ran a few wires across here. There's one, skipped 2 and ran one there. We'll do the same thing down here. And what that's doing is it's just holding the walls all at the same dimension all the way across, and because the cattle panels are trying to push the walls out. So what's coming up is we got 3 more panels to put in. And by the way, as we're putting the panels on, don't run into the wire. We're stitching them, just kind of pinning them together right here. So our next step after the 3 panels are in, we're going to put a face board on and a ledge. We're going to use 5/4 board as a ledge here. And what that's going to do is it's going to really make this wall rigid. And we'll straighten out the entire wall as we secure that. And then get the panels put in. We got to build the end walls yet. We'll have T-posts. We're going to do some supporting with a ridge line or whatever down the center. So all right, well, stick with us. We'll come back when we get some more progress. Thanks for watching. Okay, so we made a little bit of progress, and I'll show you what we've got so far. Got the door mounted that on the center 4x4, which is 8 feet high, and currently we just have this piece running as a support until we get all of the end walls built. And we've got all the panels wired together. I got one last one, and I'll show you here in a little bit how that works. Okay, so we are going to tie off all of these joints, or where the cattle panels marry together. And so I've taken a piece of galvanized fencing wire, I suppose, and what you're going to do is make a cross like this, bring them together, and then you crisscross it, and then pull it nice and tight, and then this is going to go around here. 13 inches is what I cut those at. 12 inches it was a little, you'll see why 13 works really good. both of the ends are inside, and that looks like a pretty factory joint. So that's how we married together all of the cattle panels on every single section all the way around. And we mocked up rocket mass heater, tried to figure out our location. We're going to put it right here, and we got a few more center posts to go. Level them all out, and then we're going to run a beam across the top, and we're going to use joist hangers to run a board from there over to there. So we'll show you that when we get that done. Hey everybody, welcome back for another video, or at least an extension of the video we've been working on, building the greenhouse. Give them a quick roundabout shot of what's going on. We got a 12 by 30 greenhouse going up. We got sick of building. We said we're going to start working on the rocket heater. So this is our rocket heater J-tube core, made out of 3-inch or 4.5 by 9 by 3-inch brick. This is industrial grade brick that we got our hands on. This is the first fire. We just got this mocked up. We're going to try it out, make sure it works good, and then we'll tear it apart and go ahead and mortar all the joints. But what we're going to do is, I've got a little bit of fat wood here, not self-got. I bought it at Menards. It comes in a 4-pound box or 4-pound package. We use this for the wood stove and whatnot. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to fill this with, this is okra husks. We saved seed from the garden and had a bunch of the husks left over. So we're going to get these down in the fire tube. Just throw them a bunch down in there. You can pretty much use whatever. Alright, get some of them in there. And then a little bit of paper in there. What else? We need more paper. Hey, we'll throw some cardboard in there. Yeah, that's good enough. Alright, now the fat wood sticks, let's throw a couple of those down in there. Those will catch and burn real good. Alright. Oh, now we got a breeze going. Get in close so you can hear the rocket. Split very easy. Well, we'll just throw the whole 2x4 in there.
I already see it drafting.
Yeah, shoot it down there, see what it looks like. It's beam up, you got to get way up.
Yeah, you can see the flames going around and curling. Sucking the flame right in there.
what I found on these is at least the one I made before. Three boards work great as far as burning because they need each other to feed off of. If you got two face to face, then they can burn in between, and that energy is like focused on each other as the fire and wind's going through it. If you've got three, then you've got a lot more surface area that it can work itself against. And this is cold. This was a cold start. Obviously with no barrel or anything on it. But once this gets hot, then there's just no stopping that draft. Smoking a little bit. Oh man, had it going good too. Got crazy put too much in it. Go shut that off. We're gonna go get some. Okay, so got a lot further on the greenhouse, and I want to take you through and show you what got done so far. This is turning into how not to build a greenhouse project, I'll tell you what. But anyway, we ended up, I don't know why I had a brain fart. When I was putting these side rails up, and these walls, not anchored to the ground, I don't know why, but it didn't occur to me that the loading these springs, when you turn them into an arch, was going to push out on the walls. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, so what we did to combat that is put in a double 2x4 rafter type of situation here, and then tied them together so that holds the walls in. So got the center posts in, got the end walls built. Pretty much getting ready to put some plastic on the side walls and secure the doors. Just putting the foam pipe insulation on the edges to protect that. I still have to put a little bit of tape over each one of these, I think, just for a little protection, abrasion resistance. Double check that we don't have any sharp edges poking up. But she's a big one. 12 by 30. I've got some plans for the center. Let me turn around. I've got some plans here for the center posts and the center bed that's going to be right here. And letting like some beans grow up, doing tomatoes perhaps. I don't know. It'll be awesome. Got the rocket heater. That's going to be a video in itself, the rocket heater situation. And like I said, we're going to do the end walls first, and then we're going to take the sheeting for the roof and bring it over and tie it here. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that as a separate video as well. So I'll probably do one last video when I get everything tidied up and run around and conclude this video. And then the next one, like I said, will be putting the skin on. Maybe do a time-lapse type of video for that. But yeah, now I just got to get everything cleaned up. Get it ready for some greenhouse film, which is right there. Got a whole pile of it ready to go. All right, see you on one last little installment of this video, I think. Okay, wrapping it up for the day. I think tomorrow and the next day we should have the rest of it done. So as before, had the insulation foam on there. I'm not exactly sure what I covered, but We cleaned up everything that was going on inside of here, and we're going to get it skinned, so if we have any bad weather we can still do some work in here. After we skin it, then we're going to build the windows and put in the automatic vent openers, one on either end. And we already took the greenhouse film and cut our end pieces off, and I've got those sitting right here. Two 10-footers, 10 foot by 28 foot, and yeah, I think we're getting real close. Probably 2 more days we'll have the thing all sheeted in, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all in the next video.